This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening. Tensions have again flared over plans to reopen four-wheel drive tracks within the Pieman Conservation Area on the northwest coast. The state government has sent its controversial proposal to the federal government for approval, the issue again dividing a local community.
Since tracks were closed in 2012, user groups have been rallying to see them reopened. Now those behind the push say a new bid to make them accessible is a pivotal moment.
Today is a landmark occasion because we're going forward after it many years. We would have liked to have seen them open yesterday. But unfortunately, we've got to go through a process and we're prepared to wait.
The decision of whether 3 tracks can be reopened is now up to the federal government. The Tasmanian Liberals committed to unlock the area for recreational use at the last state election, but legal action by the Tasmanian Aboriginal Centre halted plans. As a result, it was ruled any reopening must be approved nationally.
We never gave up this fight and we'll continue to fight to restore recreational access to the Pieman, and this is an important step towards that.
But also fighting are conservation groups. While the region's Aboriginal group supports the plan,
we have a policy of inclusion, not exclusion.
TAC says it will impact Aboriginal artefacts.
It is impossible for vehicles to go in that area without destroying heritage. Anyone with an open mind and half a wit of common sense will be able to see that.
South of the Pieman, it's absolutely appalling, the destruction of Aboriginal sites, and this government has done nothing about it.
They're now calling on state Labor to make an election pledge to keep the tracks closed, but that could come too late.
We're hopeful that it will be as quickly as possibly assessed.
If approved, the government plans to commence rehabilitation work immediately so tracks can reopen next summer.
We want to see them sustainably managed and we're going to make sure it does happen.
TAC says it will keep fighting the proposal and take direct action if needed. Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
Tasmanians across the state have rallied in support of same-sex marriage. The activists urging people to continue campaigning for the yes vote until the postal survey is over.
Protesters big and small today determined to have their voices heard on an issue dividing the nation.
That it's time to vote yes for marriage equality.
But those in opposition say they won't be watered down.
It will be even tougher to be a Christian, and I think it will be it will have consequences for parental rights and for religious freedoms, freedom of speech.
This Hobart woman is of the Christian faith, but today spoke out to share her opinion.
They deserve me to put aside my interests and what might be comfortable for me if that is going to give them a benefit.
Speakers today urging these supporters to not become complacent and give up protesting just because of today's strong turnout.
The result is not a foregone conclusion. We can't assume that there will be a final yes vote.
I believe we live in a democracy, and as responsible citizens, we have a right to say what we believe in.
For prominent gay rights activist Rodney Croom, today's turnout was heartwarming following the Federal High Court decision 2 days ago that determined the non-binding plebiscite could go ahead.
Get out and door knock, call other people, distribute leaflets and engage in as many conversations as possible.
What difference is it going to make to anything? It's not going to tumble my cart.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian beer lovers are relishing the taste of the state's finest microbrews this evening, with a festival dedicated to the craft hosted at Hobart's Princess Wharf 1. Over 20 pop-up craft producers showing off their boutique beers to the ale appreciators.
I like to try and brew the best beer, of course, and have it, I suppose, be the best beer of the festival. But when it all comes down to it, we're all good mates and we're all beer lovers.
The Microbrew Fest is organised by TasTAFE Drysdale students as part of their studies. A home in Glenorchy was severely damaged by fire this afternoon after a blaze tore through its lounge room around 4 o'clock. Luckily, no one was home at the time, but fire crews worked to rescue the pets who were locked inside.
On this occasion, we were lucky in that a neighbour noticed the smoke, but I don't believe there was a smoke alarm operating, and that might have alerted alerted us to the fire via the neighbours a bit quicker.
The exact cause of the blaze is yet to be determined. When around 500 students from across Tasmania have converged on Hobart's Ogilvie High School to compete in the state finals of the annual Tournament of Minds.
So you have 6 weeks to perform your long-term challenge, and then you perform that on the day, and it goes for 10 minutes.
And then you have a spontaneous, and you don't know the challenge or whatever, and you have to just be creative and work as a team.
66 teams from 23 schools participated, with the winning teams to represent Tasmania at the Australasian Pacific Finals in Adelaide next month.
Launceston continued to prove the surprise package this TSL Finals series, overrunning Clarence in this afternoon's elimination final at Blunston Arena. The Blues putting on 7 second-half majors to claim the 33-point win and book a showdown with Lauderdale for a place in the grand final.
Heavy pressure from the Roos saw them dominate things early, with a lapse of discipline from the Blues, leading to the first major of the match, courtesy of Ian Callanan. The visitors struggled to find their targets and Jared Harper made them pay. Trent Standen extending the lead before Jake Nunn delivered a much-needed major for the Blues. The Roos backline stood tall and the home side thought they'd snuck another in right on the siren before it was disallowed. Tucked away on the boundary, big Nathan O'Donoghue narrowed the gap before some tidy transition work allowed the Blues coach to make it a 1-point ball game. But the Clarence coach refused to be outdone. Lonigan soon had another from the same spot, with Sonny Whiting getting involved to boot the Blues in front. A sensational snap from Joe Boyce, seeing the visitors up by 10 points come the long break. With the momentum in their favour, it was all the Blues from there on out. O'Donoghue jagged himself a second before the side ran rampant in the last. Jay Blackberry and Joe Boyce helping to seal the 33-point win.
And North Launceston is through to the TSL Grand Final after thrashing Lauderdale at UTAS Stadium a short time ago. The visitors never looked in it, with the Bombers in a class of their own, breezing through to the big dance with a 94-point win.
On fire from the opening bounce, the home side had established a 5-goal lead by quarter time, with all the Bombers' big names getting involved. North skipper Taylor Whitford soon had another to his name early in the second as things began to look embarrassing for Lauderdale. Robbie McManus finally got the visitors off the mark, but the North Launceston freight train couldn't be slowed as Whitford continued to impress. Ryan Wiggins kicking in front of the sticks, the only positive for Lauderdale, with the home side up by 41 points at the long break. The punishment continued for the visitors in the second half. Jake Pearce and Tom Bennett were finally rewarded for their efforts around the ball with a major apiece, as the Bombers showed why they're the heavy flag favourites, storming through to the grand final with an easy win, with Lauderdale to get another crack at it next weekend against the Blues.
Tasmanian canoeist Kate Eckhart has qualified through to the semi-final of the women's K1 event at the Canoe Slalom World Cup after finishing in 20th place during the final round in Spain. Fellow Tasmanian Daniel Watkins didn't have the same steady run, finishing with a 33rd and 27th placings. South Hobart has added another piece of silverware to the trophy cabinet this year with a 7-goal thrashing of Olympia at KG5 this afternoon to claim the League Cup. The 2017 NPL champions had just the one on the scoreboard at half-time before Nick Morton broke the game wide open, scoring a hat-trick as his side raced away with it. Darcy Hall slotting 2 through the back of the net en route to the 7-0 thumping.
Good evening. It was great to see something that resembled some spring weather today. Hobart 13, Launceston 16 after a frosty start. Burnie and Devonport also 15. 16 was a top temp today, but 15 was seen in Wynyard, Friendly Beaches, Eddiston and St Helens. Lowhead 14, Maria Island, Bushy Park and Strawn 13. Mount Wellington dropped to -5 and it did help to keep some of that snow around, which was also falling to 700 metres this morning. On the satellite, low-level speckled cloud over the southeast of Australia, patchy high cloud to the southeast of the state and a frontal band approaching Western Australia. Up close, low-level clouds streaming across Tasmania from the west. Tomorrow, a weakening high will centre itself over western New South Wales with a ridge extending over Tasmania and central Australia. A cold front will cross southwest Western Australia. On the water, west to southwesterly winds to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots in the southeast. The wind should ease through the day. Seas to 3 metres about the west and south.
south. There's still a flood watch warning in place for the River Derwent and a strong wind warning tomorrow for lower eastern and southeastern coastal waters from Wineglass Bay to Southeast Cape. Tomorrow, possible showers for Hobart and Ouse 17, Richmond some showers with 18, Launceston possible showers 15, Devonport and Deloraine possible morning showers 13, Burnie cloudy 13, Strawn some showers with 14 and Curry 14 after a warmer start of 9 degrees. On the east coast, St Helens and Swansea partly cloudy 16, Whitemark also with some cloud and 14. We hope you enjoyed some sun today because the 3-day forecast has more rain planned. Monday showers for the west extending statewide during the morning. Tuesday showers across the west and possible showers elsewhere. Wednesday showers for the northwest spreading statewide in the morning and afternoon with possible snowfall Wednesday night. And around the country tomorrow, showers for Perth 20 degrees, partly cloudy in Adelaide and Melbourne, sunny and fine up north, and Sydney sunny with 20. And currently partly cloudy in Hobart, 10 degrees, Launceston 9 and clear, Devonport 9 and clear. And if you're planning on going up Ben Lomond tomorrow for a ski, you're probably going to need snow chains. Thanks, Rach.
Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night.
And I saw that for thousands of people across this nation are saying to my home with their that this nation will vote yes. A nation like that, and with the support that they've had for so many if you want Australia